Hey, what's up, guys? This is John,
And Chrome.
and we are here for the very first episode of our Pony Psychology series.
That's right.
The first episode we're going to be going through this evening is going to be Sleepless in Ponyville, which is quite possibly one of the most psychology-filled episodes of the series, um, except for the usuals of like Lesson Zero
Mm-hmm.
and Party of One.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to those eventually.
Right.
Uh, I guess we can get started. We're gonna go through the episode. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna post edit this, but we'll figure it out as we go.
Right.
So, first thing is that at the very beginning of the episode, when Rainbow Dash compliments Scootaloo, it is very funny that she completely stops in midair and
Mm-hmm.
falls. Um, but you notice that instant emotion change of, oh my gosh, Rainbow Dash gave me a compliment. I'm just so happy now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know. And then in the very next scene, she's making things seem a lot better than they really are.
Right.
She's saying it's practically like she told me that she'd take me under her wing, teach me everything she knows, and becomes my big sister. No, that's not the reality.
Right.
That's
Well, I know speaking for a lot of people, like especially when you're in a situation where maybe you have an adult or somebody that you're constantly trying to impress, and they finally give you some sort of recognition, you instantly blow it up and make it seem like a much bigger deal than it really is.
hmm
That's what they're trying to convey there, I think.
yeah, definitely. One thing I really do like about that one scene, though, is that Apple Bloom does mention, "I don't know all about all that,"
Mm-hmm.
because she knows Scooter is just making things so
Yeah.
much better than making them out to be much better than they are currently.
Right.
And I like that Scooter just maintains that optimism, and she's like, "All that stuff could happen, though,"
Yeah.
you know. Um, and then when Rarity is asked to come on the camping trip,
Mm.
um, I actually thought to myself, are they going to do a reference here um, to Parent Trap
Right.
with the drama queen on a camping trip? They kind of did that a little bit, but
Yeah.
um, one thing I love is that we've seen this previously in the season with Magic Duel, um, but the reverse psychology,
Mm-hmm.
where you know Sweetie Belle goes up and it says, "But if you really don't want to go with me,"
Right. Right.
and a lot of people think it's the puppy dog stare that she gave, and that's part of it, but another part of it is that was just the icing on the cake
Right.
to make sure that it worked.
I think it was. I think it was more of a hearkening to Sisterhood of Social,
hmm
where basically Sweetyville was trying to guilt trip Rarity into coming with her and spending time with her sister because of kind of because she'd made a mistake of not doing so in the past, and she doesn't want to make her sister upset again. So her
hmm
and Sweetybelle kind of abuses that to get what she wants.
Yeah, and then of course it kind of backfires on Sweetie Belle because
Mm.
she is
She's forced to do all the
she's
work.
forced to do all the work, and she's made out to be the, I guess, quote unquote workhorse of the group.
Hmm.
Not trying to be funny there or anything, but
Well said. Well
that's
said.
yeah, yeah. Um, so at one thing that I found really interesting is that when they're about to start the trip, Scooter is looking around and seeing, where the heck is Rainbow Dash? Why isn't she here? All
Mm-hmm.
these whirling thoughts going through her head of, where is she? Why isn't she here? Or is she coming? And all this stuff. And then she needs to be calmed down by Applejack,
Mm.
just because you're overthinking it. Calm down.
Yeah. She's just
Um,
overexcited.
hmm definitely. Um, so one also when Scooter goes up and tries to impress Rainbow Dash for the first time. Just play it cool, and goes through that entire Looney Tunes bit,
Mm,
um, and then plays it off like it was nothing.
that was a good scene. That made me laugh.
Yeah,
That was that was well done.
yeah, definitely.
Mm,
Um, and with that, it's she's faking her nervousness, and she knows she's nervous when she's around Rainbow Dash because I mean, come on, it's her idol.
right,
It's the person or the pony, I should say, that she's looked up to the most.
right.
She doesn't want rejection or
Yeah,
anything like that. She wants nothing but acceptance.
exactly.
And right before Rainbow Dash starts telling the story, the entire CMC get a little jumpy.
Right.
But then Scooter catches herself, sits back down, and says, "Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm cool."
Mm.
You know.
It's just, it seems like she's overdoing the whole trying to be impressive thing
Hmm.
to a point where it's almost just unnatural.
Exactly. Right when Rainbow Dash uh, stops with the story, you can see that Scooter is a little scared, a
Right.
little more than a little scared,
Yeah.
and she's still trying to catch herself and still trying to say, "Nope, not going to have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be scared. I'm better than that."
Hmm.
You know, being scared is for weak little fillies, kind
Yeah.
of thing. Which that mentality bothers me immensely.
Yeah.
You know, you should be fine with embracing anything. Heck, that's why we both became bronies because we're able to accept more than just one thing.
Right. I mean, obviously, she wasn't. I mean, the other two were scared, so it would just be natural for her to feel the same way, but instead she was trying to act cooler than the two of them, and that just it doesn't fit right. It doesn't really make any sense, and it just makes her look awkward, sort of, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Um, so if you notice, the first time here is when Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo, or not Scootaloo, sorry, Sweetie Belle and Apple
Apple
Bloom,
Bloom.
they go to their sisters
Right.
because they're scared and they know they can get comfort from there. Um, but that's the first time that we see, since Scootaloo doesn't have a family member or anything like that, she is completely alone.
Right.
And as a kid, you have a lot tougher time trying to deal with stuff
On your
without
Yeah.
someone there to support you.
Right.
You know,
That part kind of highlighted the entire what the rest of the episode was going to involve, and the probably the first time I really got a well developed insight into what Scootaloo's like feelings really were about not having a sister,
yeah.
which was
So, yeah, definitely. So, also, right when Rainbow Dash goes into the tent, she takes off that mask of "I'm cool" instantaneously,
Mhm.
and she's completely scared.
Right.
And I'm assuming it was quite a struggle for her to keep that mask on for that long.
Hmm.
And then she goes into the tent and starts sleeping.
Hmm.
And you don't really see her go to sleep, but then you see that she's transported into this nightmarish world
Right.
where the fear has absolute control.
Yeah.
There is nothing she's doing to stop it. And there are ways to stop dreams. I've done it before. I've been able to manipulate where the dream goes.
Hmm.
But that doesn't happen here. And
Yeah.
she's just running. And just going on with that fear has the complete control. When she goes back into the tent in that nightmare, and the olden pony is where Rainbow Dash is,
Yeah.
that's part of it where the fear is in complete control. And absolutely bashes her,
Mm-hmm.
abuses it. And when she wakes up, she starts rocking and humming to herself to calm herself down.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen that in a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely total petrification.
Right. It just kind of that exemplifies the fact that she has no one else to comfort herself but her. Like that could even mean something a little bit more, I guess, kind of deeper. The fact that it seems like either she's just not comfortable with. Obviously, she's not comfortable with sharing this feeling with Rainbow Dash. That's apparent from the very beginning.
Hmm.
But the fact that she might have done this in the past, like that might mean something more to her character. In that
Absolutely.
maybe her family, like we obviously don't have never seen her family, so we don't know what that's like. But I think that's kind of a device that was created to give her a little bit more like I don't really know exactly, more like of a mysterious background or mysterious like why to give her less motive for what she. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Yeah. Gives it more of a mystery
Right.
to her
Right.
character.
Yeah.
And more characterization is always great.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then two words when she wakes up and she has crust all over her eyes and everything.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
And the events that follow where she goes to that little another one of those little Looney Tunes gags of where she's asleep on her scooter.
Yeah.
And all these things that should be impossible to avoid, but yet she's avoiding them even without even trying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then after that scene, we're walking along, and we see that everything is a jump scare to Scootaloo,
Right.
especially because of that nightmare the previous night, and
Mm-hmm.
because she hasn't had any sleep.
Yeah. I mean, she's trying obviously, and then she's trying to play it off like it's nothing,
Hmm.
which just goes back to the mask thing. She's just trying to play it cool.
Yeah, what I really found interesting was that she wasn't even comfortable with Applejack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost like she's not comfortable with anybody
Right.
because she's been a fan of Rainbow Dash for so long that she's got that mentality that I don't need anyone else. I'm fine with being on my own,
Right.
which is not a good message to any kid,
Right.
you know, because you need that support.
Well, I think that's what the overarching theme of the episode is.
Hmm.
I mean, right now it's obviously saying that being on your own is not doing her any good. She's not getting any sleep. She's stressing herself out with acting how she doesn't feel, and in the long run, that's really bad for her. And we'll get to the end eventually. But that's what the whole kind of theme of the episode is, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. So when Scootaloo is asked to get the firewood, um, the during the second night,
Oh yeah.
and she's doing all these little things, you know, trying to call the branches out like they're dogs and all this other stuff, and also that she tries to push herself by counting down.
Mm-hmm.
That has never worked for me. It never will. I know it works for some people, but
Mm-hmm.
not with everyone, especially Scootaloo. And the fact that she goes out, grabs the sticks, and brings them back all while like
Screaming and like.
screaming and everything, which of course that is a reference to that SpongeBob episode
Uh
where he goes and takes out the trash,
huh.
screaming the entire time. Um, but that's really relevant to, you know, I was watching the Everfree Radio review of this, and you know, it was they brought up that that's relevant to our childhoods too.
Yeah.
Were you ever scared of, going down into the deep, dark basement to grab something.
Oh yeah. Well,
And it's just,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
So, and I'm sure that's applicable to almost everyone.
Hmm.
Once again, talking about the second ghost story and where she is even more scared than the
Hmm.
night before. And also, what I find interesting, switching over to Rainbow Dash real quick, this entire time, Rainbow Dash doesn't even notice
Yeah.
that Scooter is completely scared.
Yeah.
It's never been in her nature to be caring or to be, um, you know, her element, loyalty, doesn't need to constitute to caring
Right.
at all. And that's a really interesting side to her character that she never just even thought of looking over and seeing if Scooter was okay.
Yeah. I never took her to be one that would be like caring or compassionate to or working well with foals. So
Exactly.
and that kind of highlights that.
Actually, yeah, definitely. So once again, Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom seek their sister comfort again,
Hmm.
um, and you can definitely see that. And Scooter has absolutely nothing, and just continues to be scared.
Hmm.
Um, and then she tries everything she can possibly think of to not go back to sleep.
Right.
Saying we haven't sung any campfire songs, and then Sweetie Belle going off on that, possibly hour-long tangent of, you know, buckets of oats on the wall.
Hmm.
And then she goes in and who wants to play hide and seek? Who wants to cut a rug? Who wants to do this? Who wants to do that? And you can definitely see that all of them are just like, we're too tired.
Hmm.
We all just want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And, you know. So then, once again, Scooter finally does fall asleep. And the second nightmare begins, where she is believed to be being followed by the headless horse.
Hmm.
And then Luna shows up. And
That was a big surprise to me.
that
Did,
was a big surprise to me as well.
did not expect that.
Yeah. But when Luna comes in, she, you know, is you see her as a very soothing and comforting, drastic contrast to how she was in Luna Eclipse.
Uh.
Because she does have that more caring attitude and that more, uh, I'm here to help you.
Right.
Um, and Scootaloo mentions that the dream feels absolutely real.
Right.
And especially when it pertains to nightmares, they feel absolutely real.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even though some of my dreams don't make sense, they still feel real.
Yeah. It's the heightened sense of, I guess, what fear can do to your, what you perceive as real.
Absolutely.
Like how
And that's
you like how if you're like out late after dark and you start to see things, it's kind of the same thing. You think they're real, but it's just kind of like that.
yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
And of course, that's where we get night terrors.
Right.
Stage 4 sleep, you ain't waking up, and your body's going to thrash about because of that heightened fear.
Hmm.
Um, so, when Scooter is told by Luna that she has to face her fear of telling Rainbow Dash the truth,
Hmm.
you can see in Scooter's face that she feels horrible and she's mortified by the thought of it.
Yeah. She doesn't want to basically just break down in front of her idol and
Absolutely.
yeah.
And get that possible rejection.
Yeah.
So then she wakes up, and even after all that, she starts running in the real world,
Yeah.
thinking that she's hearing things and seeing things like you had said. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that she's hearing the headless horse.
I kind of felt like that was. I thought of that as sort of like a an accident, or that was kind of Luna's fault for saying, uh, like your fear will be real or whatever.
Hmm.
I feel like maybe Scootaloo took that too literally.
Absolutely. So she's running away, and that whole really epic scene of her, it's I would call it epic, but it's really sad to see
Uh-huh.
her struggling for survival,
Mm.
and the fear changes to survival instinct quite often, especially when she falls into the water. Because even when she's hanging on that branch, is
Mm-hmm.
anyone out there except for the headless horse? And
Mm-hmm.
then when she goes into the water, there's nothing that's scaring her more than going over that waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to do everything she can to not do that,
Right.
which she does fall over, and
Dun, dun, dun,
she's like,
dun.
"Oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
Rainbow Dash, you saved me. Thank you so much." And then the scene that will always give me feels,
Mm-hmm.
her breaking point is when she's being reprimanded.
Right.
She never wants to see her idol yelling at her, and it's finally happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that part actually brought manly tears to my eyes.
Indeed. Thank goodness I had seen the episode multiple times, so that when I recorded my reaction video for the
Mm-hmm.
Bronies React, I didn't cry. But
Uh-huh.
first time I saw that, it
Desensitize
was
yourself to it.
exactly. But so she finally gets the final push from Luna to face your fear,
Mm-hmm.
get it over with. Tells Rainbow Dash the truth,
Mm-hmm.
and I love seeing the expression with Rainbow Dash, just like, you were really that much into liking me, and that's,
Mm-hmm.
you want me to be your sister? What? You know?
Yeah.
And so Scootaloo finally lays it all out on the table, and she starts crying
Mm-hmm.
openly. And I think it was probably because she thinks it's hopeless. I don't have any chance to ever even talk to Rainbow Dash again. That's
Yeah.
it. No more. And then you see the single best characterization of Rainbow Dash ever. You see that Rainbow Dash never really thought about it, but yeah, this could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This could be cool,
Yeah.
you know. And what was great is, thank you, Corey Powell. You still kept her in character.
Yeah.
You still
She
completely
didn't
kept
make
her in
her
character.
overly emotional or too
Exactly.
sappy about it.
Exactly. You didn't bring any sappiness into it. You just brought it out like it should be. And then the resolution, when Scootaloo does gain Rainbow Dash as a sister slash mentor slash, friend, you get that emotion from the very beginning of the episode, which was the extreme happiness.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing. I finally achieved what I wanted my
Yeah.
entire life.
So
And then,
there we go. That's
yeah. And then one final thing
Mm-hmm.
is that finally, when she has that sister comfort at the very, very end of the episode, she's facing her fear of the Olden Pony again. And because she has that sister comfort, she's able to stand up to it.
right.
Which that was great visualization of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, great, well done episode.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please give us some feedback if you would like to see something like a different angle that we could go through. This episode is definitely just more to test the waters and
Mm-hmm.
see where we can go with it. So feedback is greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be it from me, John.
And me, Chrome.
And we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.